welcome to the Chamber Voice of Business podcast. I am Steve Cox with the Rogers-Lowell Chamber, joined as always by my co-host, Nick Smith. Nick, you're not wearing green today. What's going on? We're recording on St. Patrick's Day.
First off, I have green in my sock.
Well, that's what I did too. I got my Baby Yoda socks going.
That's covered. And second, we're always in and out of the studio, and I just have like a subconscious thing, I swear, of avoiding green at all costs. I've edited enough videos and edited out the background behind you enough to know just I avoid it.
Fair enough. Yeah. So why don't you talk about who we got on the show today? We got a very exciting panel that we're going to get to talk about the annual celebration coming up on April 6th.
This is a great episode. We're going to be talking about our annual celebration of business and community, why we call it a celebration and not just a meeting in general. But because of that, we're actually bringing in the first special guest panelists outside of our staff since the relaunch of our podcast. Those of you who...
Thunderous round of applause.
Yeah. That's right. So those of you who watch the news on weeknights will recognize Allison Wise from 4029 News. Allison has lived in Northwest Arkansas for more than 11 years and started her news career at 4029 News. She's hosted several events for nonprofit organizations that partner with 4029, including the Northwest Arkansas Mets Parade. Allison enjoys live music. She fosters cats and dogs and teaches group fitness and dance classes, which my coworker Skylar, who you know from the podcast, was very excited to talk to you about before we got in here. She graduated from Tulane University in New Orleans with a bachelor's degree in communications and political science. She received a master's degree in journalism from the University of Arkansas. Joining us today, Allison Wise from 4029 News, evening news anchor. Thank you for being here, Allison.
Thank you so much for having me. I've lived in Rogers for 11, 12, going on 12 years now, and worked in Rogers for that long at 4029. So this feels kind of full circle for me. And I also did my thesis project called Live the Local, which was about the development of downtown Rogers.
That is awesome.
So
Fantastic.
I feel, like I said, came full circle. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, we are very, very pleased to have you on here as well. And so we're going to have to, just going through that bio, I feel like with everything you do, I need a nap. So, wow, I'm tired.
Exactly. I know. I am like one of those people that likes to rub it in others' faces how busy I am. That's what my fiance says. You're not you act like you're a martyr because you're so busy. You could say no to things, but I'm happy to, kind of be a part of the community, and, we live in a great place. So
yeah, exactly.
I feel lucky to do that.
Fantastic. Nick, who else do we got today?
Well, we also have joining us today Maggie Matuschka with the Chamber, our special events coordinator. Thank you for joining us again, Maggie.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's very important to have you on since, again, you're coordinating this event.
Right.
Even though this is your first go-around with this event, we haven't scared you off yet, so...
Yeah, feeling the pressure, though.
You're doing great. Deep breaths, we got this. And then also joining us is Ross Phillips, who has been through a couple of these events now. He's our SVP of Community Development, and also is here as a voice of the next generation, which is going to be a big theme of this year's celebration. Howdy, Ross.
Well, I'm really jealous. I didn't get an introduction like that. You didn't say where I went to college. I also foster dogs. I love long walks on the beach. Nice glass of wine every now and then.
Courtney's going to think you're like sweating out a dating app or something.
We'll make sure to give you a really solid introduction maybe at the event. How about that? We'll just throw that in there somewhere in the programming.
Randomly. Yeah.
I'm going to get you a new name tag that's going to be 4 times the size of everybody else's that says everything you just said.
Well, I need my participation trophy.
Yeah.
Okay, and the next gen is coming out. All right, we're great to go. I'm going to pass it back to you now, Steve. Official...
But this is your turn. Talk about NWA in the news.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
See, this is why we have scripts.
Exactly.
So, NWA in the news, conversations from the week. Some great things happening right now. Wright's Barbecue, named Best Barbecue in Arkansas by Southern Living Magazine. Any of you who have not had Wright's Barbecue should go check it out. Ross, they catered your wedding, correct?
They did. Yeah. We were one of his first events to ever do. So Jordan is one of our really good friends. So happy for him and the growth that Wright's been able to do. I know they're getting ready to launch down in Little Rock as well. I mean, his business is taking off, and he's excited about it.
The Rogers location is always packed.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. They've got a lot going on for them there. That's fantastic. Other great piece of news right now, the Hogs won last night in the March Madness NCAA tournament.
First round.
Yes. This is going to air next Wednesday. With any luck, we'll knock number 1 Kansas off the thing. That's right. That's going to happen. Go Hogs.
We'll see.
Someone went to
did not
UCA.
Ross did not have the Hogs advancing in his bracket, and it's showing.
I had Virginia as a national champion, so
So
could
Steve's
be worse.
feeling great right now.
I
with his chances.
gotta say, last night at the after hours, they did the Woo Pig Suey thing, which I've never heard because I'm from Louisiana. So I was like very taken aback. I was like, "What's going on back there?" And then suddenly the whole crowd, the entire room, was echoing with the call for the Hogs. So
I hate to be the bearer of wonderful news, but you have a daughter that's going to go to school here. She's going to be calling the Hogs
Yep.
sooner rather than later.
Oh.
So that's just going to be how it is. And, it works.
We're going to embrace it.
That's right. That's right. That's all you really can do. I mean, Allison, you probably heard it at least a couple of 3 times.
Led it more times than
Right,
that.
and there's nothing like hearing Woo Pig Suey at the Walmart amp. Honestly, I think they do it at every concert.
close, yeah.
Usually right between the time that the band or the performer ends before they come on for the encore. The entire facility is Woo Pig Suey.
Wow.
So that might even be secondary to hearing it, in the stadium.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Oh, yeah, you get that amp rocking like that?
Yeah.
That's what makes the encore happen. I mean, how can you turn down a group?
They were going to leave until they heard the hog
Right.
calls.
I've never been to a concert where they do, a school cheer
Yeah.
like that, like they do here as often as they do. So it's pretty impressive.
Exactly. Moving on from that, today, St. Patrick's Day. That's what made us really talk about green when we got in here. But
Yes.
we are recording this on St. Patrick's Day. Ross was keeping us all honest earlier today with that. Hopefully you all enjoy your corned beef and cabbage and things of that nature later today. Y'all aren't drooling, so I'm going to move on from there. Apparently it's not that great. Other bit of business news. Steve, we have you down going over the Skyline Report, which was released here recently. You want to go over what that is and why it's important?
Yeah, twice a year, Arvest Bank does Skyline reports for Benton and Washington County, just kind of showing employment growth, development, housing, all sorts of reports. They use Mervyn Jebaraj, who is the director at the Center of Business and Economic Research at the University of Arkansas. So he presented. It was a weird start to that program, as that was the day that Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. And so, like 2 hours after that, we're talking about the financial markets. So that was definitely an interesting piece there. But once we talked about that, obviously we know inflation's going to continue, but he was showing that there are signs that it is starting to ease and starting to come back down. Some of the key takeaways, and you can see this in the mission memo, where just talking about how wages are up, job growth is up in Northwest Arkansas. Wages aren't rising as fast as they were the same time last year, but we still have a housing issue and a major workforce housing issue just in terms of the functional vacancy rate for multifamily housing. It's like 1.5%, so really it's zero. And that's causing rents to rise and home prices to rise, just a lack of supply. So a call for density, call for new urbanism, building up, not out, putting more single family units into per acre and more multifamily units per acre. And that's something that we fully support here at the Chamber is, that new urbanism concept and building that densities. Because, I like to say, short of a hostile takeover of Cave Springs, Rogers can't really go anywhere else to build. So.
Come on, take it over.
I think Cave Springs put up a pretty big fight.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a great segue. So we're talking about a lot of the stuff that needs to happen in order for our communities to continue to thrive. And the Celebration of Business and Community, our annual event here at the Chamber, is something that allows us to get a lot of movers and shakers as well as next-gen leaders together to really kind of set the tone for the year ahead as well as celebrate some of the things that have come before. So, Steve, why don't you go ahead now and do our official...
Hey, there we go. There we go.
We'll get it moving.
Yeah, we are, again, as I said at the top, we're talking about the annual celebration, 101st annual celebration of business and community. So the centennial last year was absolutely amazing and just set us up for this new future, this new rebrand, everything that we're going through. That's coming up on Thursday, April 6th at the Rogers Convention Center, and we do have a lot to celebrate. I mean, as much as things are, we have issues with housing and some workforce things, but we still have been able to make a lot of great strides and continue to address those issues and move the needle forward on that. We're going to be talking about why we have reasons to celebrate. We're talking about the importance of the Chamber's Vision Next initiative, which we're going to be unveiling as part of we did the Vision 100, now we're rolling into the Vision Next, and we're going to talk about how it's going to focus on the next generation and building up the next generation of community and business leaders and the outcomes that we hope to have, and we're going to do the official unveiling of the rebrand. So that's going to be a very, very fun event. Looking forward to it. 1,000 of your closest friends, come on out.
That's right. That's right. Which leads us into the first question when we talk about this event. Again, we market it as a true celebration of business and community. And that can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. But more specifically, when you're talking about folks who live here and are affected by all of the policies that you see coming out of different cities and the way that we have this interconnected growth, there's really a lot of things and a lot of ways that individuals, families, businesses are really affected by that. So it's a great way for us to kind of, well, just talk about some of the celebratory aspects that we've got there. And part of why we asked Allison Wise to be here today is she is actually going to be the MC of that event. So Allison, I want to start with you. When you think about celebrating this area and this community, what do you think about? Like, what is it that you want to celebrate? What is it that makes you excited for living in Northwest Arkansas?
Well, one thing I really love about Northwest Arkansas, and then Rogers in particular, is even though we are going through a major growth spurt in this area, there's still a lot of people in the community who embrace the history, and in particular, thinking about our downtowns and preserving those historic buildings, preserving the special qualities of our downtowns that can really bring people here to understand not just where we're going, but how far we've come. And being a resident of downtown Rogers and having lived here, I have really gotten to watch the change that's happened in downtown Rogers, in particular, the revitalization, I like to say. And it's happening in a way I think that makes people who are from here proud, and it makes people who are moving here proud to be here, right? People
absolutely.
love seeing downtowns and love seeing, those downtowns thrive. And so I think that's one of the best things that all of our communities have going for them. In particular, I see that in Rogers as well.
Yeah, and the importance of downtown can't be overstated. On the economic development side, a lot of times when we're bringing in companies and they're doing a site tour to decide if they're going to relocate a factory or a facility here, they want to see the downtown because they look at it as we're making a long-term investment in this community, and if a community lets its downtown get dilapidated and don't care, then okay, are they going to care about me in 20, 30 years?
That's true.
And so if you have a vibrant, good downtown that shows the community cares, then that's just a net positive in terms of trying to recruit new business and create jobs.
I love it. And, I grew up in a small town that had brick paved streets. So it's,
There you go. So it's a
There's
little
some
home
feels
there.
out
I
there.
know. It feels just so apropos that I now live in a town with a downtown with brick paved streets. I just love that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, Maggie, as we kind of hinted at, you are the newest resident of Northwest Arkansas at the table. What is it that you're looking forward to and getting to celebrate with all of these folks that have been here for years?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. So I think for us, from my perspective, we moved here because we love this area. We were so excited for all the amenities here. And I think as an outside resident or a new resident from the outside, I can really say that there are so many things that make this place special that so many places do not have. So I'm excited to hear from so many different folks like Allison, like all the folks who have been here for a long time and the businesses that we're celebrating about why they love this place and to celebrate that.
Oh, yeah. Steve made mention of we're shooting for 1,000+ people supposedly at the event, but I mean we already have well over 600 that are already signed up. So when you say getting to talk to all of these people, this truly is a really big gathering of folks that are all Northwest Arkansas residents that are just excited to be there and talk to one another and really celebrate the things that are happening.
And I would be remiss if I didn't point out that this is going to be one of the largest gathering of businesses in Northwest Arkansas. This is a unique event in the sense that you have nonprofits at the table, you have mega industries at the table, you have all sorts of folks represented here, small businesses that don't normally convene in this fashion. And so it's a really unique opportunity for a lot of people to get to have those kind of conversations that they don't get to normally have.
Ross, half of the celebration of business and community deals with your work title. So as much as this is a part of what you do for a living, I mean, what is it that you're looking forward to as far as the event goes?
I mean, really just seeing both worlds kind of come together, both the business and community coming together and how they work in conjunction with each other. You really can't have a thriving business community if you don't have a community behind it that supports it. So I'm really just to see both worlds kind of come together and how we're serving both business and community. I mean, it's in our tagline. We're serving business and community together. And that's really what this event is designed to do, is to highlight how we're doing both of those and doing it effectively as an organization, but also as a region. as
Oh, yeah.
well. So
Oh, yeah.
I think that's kind of what makes our chamber unique. By you and I have gone through Institute of Organizational Management and have gotten to see chambers from around the country, and ours is it really truly is that intersectionality of business and community. The events that we do, the programs that we have, where we're trying to grow the business community and pro business legislation, workforce development, but also we're just as involved in quality of life initiatives. Allison, you mentioned the AMP earlier. Bringing things like that and Topgolf. Just all of these great quality of life, the downtown revitalization. Just it truly just is a unique experience at this celebration of business and community to get to see where that cross section is.
When you look at that, that's really kind of how this event has evolved. It went from being a traditional business meeting. We joke around about the fact that 40 years ago, this was held in a high school gymnasium. They passed off a gavel from one chair to the next and talked about, I think at the time, like between 6,000 and 9,000 people in the city together, like
Right.
total. And it's now evolved into this big event where we really get to celebrate the fact that we have such high population growth, so many great businesses coming in. Ross, as you look at how this event has evolved and how we look at the next gen group that is going to be taking over those seats of development, what excites you about that evolution? What really are you looking forward to?
really just the change that has happened. I've been here at the chamber, so a part of this event for like the past 6 years. In the 6 years that I've been here, every single year there's been something different that we've worked in and incorporated into this event to kind of capture that younger generation, saying, hey, there's something here for you. So I'm really I don't know what Maggie and them have planned for this year and everything.
So
like
much.
that. But
All the things.
just the forward thinking of the organization, that we're not just focused on our past. Yeah, that's great. We can't forget about that. But we also realize that there's 1,000 people in the room. Half of those are going to be younger generation. So we got to figure out what we got to do to keep their attention span during this. And I think, bringing in Shelley Simpson, our keynote speaker, is really good, because you think about JB Hunt, they're in the talent retention business. So their business is facing, how do we keep that younger generation involved? So she's going to talk a lot about how they're doing that, how they're being innovative and creative as a company, not only to put dollars into their pockets, but also to keep their talent here. And that's an issue that we're all facing.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a talent game these days. It really is.
it really, and I'm excited to see how we're going to incorporate that and incorporate capturing that younger generation. We kind of did it a little bit at the end of last year's celebration, where we honored the past, but then there was a panel discussion about 10-15 minutes of it. It was just all forward thinking. So I'm excited this year. It's all about forward thinking and being innovative and being creative.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to hearing what Shelley has to say and saying, all right, we're going to do this as a community. We're going to do this as business organizations and make Northwest Arkansas a great place to live, work, and play for everyone.
And another aspect, I think, of that innovation for the event and bringing in a new perspective is the bringing in of Allison as our MC. As I said before we recorded the podcast, I'm going to give you a script that's, we always have a very laid out script. But I'm going to give you a script that probably has some asterisk. Allison, feel free to inject some personality here, asterisk sections in it. From an outside perspective, when you look at emceeing a nonprofit event, I'm sure there are certain things that go through your mind about, well, we have to take care to make sure that everyone feels like this is a true celebration of whatever this group stands for. I mean, but this is a pretty far-ranging celebration when you talk about business and community. What are you thinking about? Like, as the MC of this event, who essentially has been tasked with bringing some of that new young personality to the group, how's that feel? Like, no pressure. But...
Well, not to break the news on this podcast. I guess we probably should have talked about this before. But I may just I foster cats and dogs, so I may just bring in a cat or two and pass it around the room. Animals do bring people together.
Yes,
They do.
So maybe just a thought.
We know Brad's leaving with one of them.
I was going to say, Brad's probably outside the door right now. Did someone say cat?
Heavy breathing.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, so no, I'm just kidding. But hey, maybe something to think about in the future. We could get some animals in there. I don't know how the convention center
I don't know
feels
how,
about
I don't know
that.
how Rogers Convention Center feels, but
I'm gonna get a call from the embassy after
they
this.
got a new GM. He might be wide open to it. We'll see.
Look, if you hide it in a jacket pocket, they're not going to stop you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all going to think it looks cute too. Who wants to be that guy that makes the news for
Service animals.
Yeah.
Service animals.
Emotional support animals.
That's right. I think that's great. If you just say that the kitten was necessary to
There
ensure that
you
your
go.
vocalizations were good on the mic, they can't stop you for that.
But no, I'm excited to be a part of this. Northwest Arkansas is quite the community-oriented place. I say this a lot. I've really loved the generosity in terms of supporting nonprofits, but also supporting local businesses. People really do, I think, realize how important small businesses and local business owners are to this place. And so I love seeing that. I do think that you bring up a great point about being able to reach the younger generation and new folks who are moving here. And I think there is a challenge there. But things like this that kind of are very forward thinking and help people realize, what this place could be in 10 years, what this place could be in 20 years. Sounds like they will hear some of that from all of you and from our local leaders at this event. And that just sort of generates excitement. In stories that I've done over the last couple of years, I've definitely heard from experts about, the retention problem, right? We want Northwest Arkansas to be a destination, not just a stop along the way to another city. And it's great to see not only Rogers local leaders, but sort of just the surrounding area and the region thinking about that. So I think there's a lot of excitement about that. And another thing that I have sort of noticed from just a younger generation, people even younger than me, is their ability to get involved, whether that be volunteering or going to an event that showcases local businesses. I kind of do some events with this group called NWA Girl Gang, and it's a great way that kind of gets, people together and sort of showcases female businesses and just, different kind of people who have like various crafts and their talents and things like that. So I see a high interest in the younger generation in involvement. And I think if we can capitalize that in some way and hone that in to local involvement, who knows how far it could go.
And you bring in a really good point and perspective that we also like to try to tell to the next generation, which is participation in this event. When you show up, when you get to talk to these people, you make some new connections. A lot of the older generation, that's just something they don't know about per se. That our generation is very service-minded.
Yes.
And the Chamber has tried to make it a part of our mission to highlight the fact that millennials, Gen Z, and the next gen leaders really do want to contribute to their community. So it's an excellent way for these people to get in front of a new audience, and especially an audience that, as they continue to kind of give money and give shout outs and work with newer businesses, it's so important for them to know that those groups exist. And one of the only ways to do that is through a visible presence. And so
Certainly.
that's just a great way for us to kind of push that next gen quality of service and really make sure that folks know about it.
I think it's also too a good opportunity for that next generation to learn from the history
Yes.
that's in the room and that experience that's in the room, learn from it, and then take that back and figure out how you can build off of that and implement your own change into that, but not forgetting where you came from. So I think it's a good opportunity for the next generation to learn and kind of be mentored a little bit there along their journey.
Well said.
Which is a good way for me to then
You're welcome.
segue. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Thank you. Good way for me to segue into one of our next questions when we're talking about some of these past historical significances that we had when it comes to this event. A lot of that has to do with our award winners. Something that the Chamber has been very involved in over the last several decades have been our community awards. And those community awards are almost always given out at this annual celebration event. When a lot of folks think of community awards, sometimes they might be thinking of awards that go to, this guy who's just retiring and we're trying to give him a good pat on the back.
Yeah.
But we do a very thorough investigation and then exclamation about some of the great inspirational stories that folks never get to hear about with individuals, but then also some of the things that the chamber's been involved in that are true attractions and quality of life amenities. We're talking about things like Hobbs State Park, the Walmart Amp, War Eagle Fair, Friends of the Rogers Public Library Association, NWA Emerging Leaders. These are all past award winners that we've highlighted at our event. And so I'd like to ask Maggie, this year, we are giving our Spirit Award to the Rogers Rail Yard Park and Butterfield Stage, something that is a quintessential part of downtown and
award-winning.
That's right.
Yes.
They
And not
won
just with
design
us,
awards.
It's a national award-winning park that we have in downtown. You have a daughter. I know you've probably taken her there once or twice. And we have the Butterfield Stage, which has the concert series that's open to the public. What do you think about when we try to make sure that folks know about these great quality of life amenities?
So I want to say first, I could write an ode to that park and how much I love that park. As someone with a young child, it's the best park ever because it doesn't have anything she can pick up and she can just run around and it's enclosed. So many things I love about that park.
You haven't even got to do the splash pad yet. That's coming.
I know. I'm so excited this summer. We can't even talk about how excited I am for that.
You have to make reservations. That thing gets so full.
Oh.
Just kidding.
I'm like, okay, where do I sign up?
It's one of the most popular parts.
But we are really excited to be able to recognize them. I mean, obviously, as we mentioned, this is an award-winning park, and we are so lucky to have that here. I mean, literally, one of the first pictures I saw of Rogers, downtown Rogers in the recent development, was that park. And I was like, oh my God, look at that. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Allison, as a downtown resident, you've seen what the park was and what it is now. What's your thought on that?
I mean, I don't think anyone, even the plans and sort of the drawings that were submitted, don't even compare to what it ended up being. I think that just was a huge part of the revitalization process of downtown, right? Where people feel like they can bring their families to enjoy it and then kind of stop along the way at so many other spots.
Yeah.
But it's unique in so many ways, certainly. And it brings people not even from Rogers, other parts of the region who want to come spend a day there.
That concert series, I was just about to say, that concert series has drawn in some crowds from all over the
Yeah.
place.
Wow.
I met some folks like from Missouri and even a couple from like Tulsa, Oklahoma who drove over and stayed in Rogers. So that's cool, really cool. And they've done a great job with it.
And then we also do a great send-off or I guess introduction for some folks to our small business of the year, this year being Woof and Wander, another downtown business, woman-owned business. She's doing an excellent job of just taking care of the Northwest Arkansas pet community and making it such a vibrant and friendly place. I mean, this is kind of open-ended for any of you all. I know I love Woof and Wander. I take my dogs there to go get groomed because it's the only place where they appreciate getting to do a walk-in tub. I've got a senior dog who, kind of needs that extra help. But what do you all think about when we get to highlight businesses like that? Again, this is something that's unique to our community. That's a very special independent business that we like to see people talk about and work with. That gets me excited, personally, just to see that we give some shout outs to groups like that.
I think what makes it special to me is nominated by the Small Business Council. So it's chamber members nominating chamber members for this award. And that's what's really, really cool about it. It's not the chamber just saying, okay, we're going to pick winners and losers here. We're going to do this. It's literally our volunteers, those that are plugged in, that give of their time to come and do the Small Business Council every month and the chamber tutorials and C2Cs for them to be able to get to celebrate, with them along with them. It's really cool. And it's always fun to see Jeremy Janes and Kayla House kind of get into a little, verbal sparring match over whose nominee is better every time. So how we do that is we actually do a quarterly award for Small Business of the Quarter, and then those quarterly winners are the automatic nominees for Business of the Year, and then they come back and revote. And it can get a little contentious sometimes trying to pick because they're all so deserving, and so it's always hard to do that. But I also do really like the fact that it's a very female focused event with Marge Wolf winning the Dick Trammell Good Neighbor Award, Shelley Simpson with J.B. Hunt winning the Elbert S. Graham Elza Tucker Award, and then with Wolf and Wonder, female-owned business, getting Business of the Year. So, and then of course Allison, our wonderful MC. So we are, it's girl power, man. It's awesome.
I love it.
Going back to the question that you were talking about, it's so hard to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So for them to be honored and recognized in front of so many different people, that can make it or break it for a business or something like that. for that recognition, that moment in the spotlight for a small business who knows what struggles they went through that year to get there, to have that moment in the sun is just so rewarding for them. So
And that
I
award
think,
just looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's a big blue diamond. It's so cool.
for me, that's
To
the
be
cool part
proudly
to see,
displayed.
because they're really appreciative, because all the blood, sweat, and tears that they poured into their business, going from some idea on a piece of paper to actual implementation, that's really cool to see that process.
For sure. And to hear some of the things that just get said about it, because I think a lot of times as small business owners, you get to hear from folks who walk in, but I think a lot of folks just don't realize how far reaching the appreciation is for a lot of the things they do. I guarantee you most of those people probably have no idea that the Small Business Council like gets into arguments about,
Yeah.
no, seriously, these people are
closed door
deserving.
meetings.
Like,
Closed door meetings.
you know, like those minutes are not released for a reason. You know what I mean? Like because it really is. The folks around here are so passionate about promoting those small businesses. We also talked about there for a second Shelley Simpson, who will be getting Elbert S. Graham Elsa Tucker Award. She is our featured speaker of the night. First woman CEO of JB Hunt Transport. She's bringing in a lot of really cool, innovative ideas. She's got a lot of great announcements that are going to be hugely effective for not only JB Hunt, but also be bringing some fantastic news just to Lowell, the city of Lowell, as well as the entire region of NWA. What are you all most excited or hopeful to hear about during her address at the event? Or are you just excited to meet her and shake her hand? I mean, that's me personally, but what are y'all's thoughts? Maggie, let's start with you.
Both definitely. Excited to hear from her and excited to meet her and shake her hand. I think that she is such a visionary and such a powerhouse that I am just so excited to hear what motivated her to have the success that she has here. Like, she is such an influencer and a face that everyone knows and celebrates, and I'm just really excited to hear how she got there and where she's going and what she sees and loves about this community.
Ross, what about you?
Well, not to give away the playbook here or anything like that, but she did speak at the 2019 Young Professional Summit that we had at the Walton Arts Center, program that we run through the Northwest Arkansas Emerging Leaders. And she just has a really great story to tell of how she started at the bottom of JB Hunt and really worked her way through that organization. So I've heard it, but I'm just excited to hear it again and to hear how it's changed over these past couple of years, because we heard that in 2019. That was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Now there's been a lot of stuff that's happened through COVID and everything like that. And she's just been such a, like Maggie said, a powerhouse over there at JB Hunt. And to hear what she's doing since then, I'm excited for the next chapter in that story.
For sure. Allison, what about you? I mean, you get to introduce her to everybody on stage. You're going to get to shake her hand in front of everyone. So you're going to have the video evidence that the rest of us aren't going to have.
Yeah, there you go. We're gonna take some selfies, Shelley, just so you know. No, I'm looking forward to meeting her. I think also she's a mother, right? And I believe she has kids who are in college.
Yeah.
So not only is she, I think, thinking about the next generation in terms of professionally leading JB Hunt, but she's probably able to think about it in a unique way as a mom with kids who are that age. So I think that provides a unique perspective, leading this company in a different way and kind of maybe taking some cues from her own family.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that I'd love to, ask her about that.
That's great. Yeah, we need to write that down. Because
Yes,
that's
yeah.
something I think, again,
Jot that down.
you really don't see much about is a Fortune 500 CEO who has raised kids while working at that company for the past, several decades, and getting to kind of encourage the next gen, both from a leadership position within a company, and then also as a mom, running the household and just kicking butt, taking names when it comes to that kind of stuff, I think is definitely going to be something that is really intriguing for me. Steve, what about you? I got to ask you. I mean, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm a true economic nerd, so I mean, it's my job. I live it, breathe it every day. So their expansion plans, JB Hunt has announced that they have plans to create thousands of jobs over the next few years, and that's just, if they do what they say they're going to do, then that's town changing for Lowell. I mean, that's just going to alter the landscape of Lowell as that continues to happen, and all of Northwest Arkansas will benefit from that.
Oh yeah, I'm starting to learn that I think you're the guy that gets excited by an Excel sheet attachment in an email.
No,
based off of what
unless it's sales tax data.
Yeah, you're not helping your case any at all. There,
I
Steve.
prefaced it with I'm a nerd, so we're good.
Exactly.
Sales tax data is so sexy, right?
Oh, yeah,
There you go.
absolutely.
You've got that down pat.
As long as it's showing black and not red, then we're good, man.
So yeah, there you go.
It's like your golf game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't thank you all enough for kind of going over this. We've gone over a great deal of information when it comes to our annual celebration. Long story short, there is something for everybody here, whether you are a small business owner, next gen, part of the original gen that helped bring in
The OGs.
Rogers Lowell and all of Northwest Arkansas, making it what it is. Folks who are just going to be excited to meet and greet, get out of the house for an evening and mingle with some of the great people that are going to be there. Folks who are going to be witnessing Allison's fantastic job vamping up some of these groups that are going to be coming up on stage.
Hype
She needs
girl.
to give like a hand signal or something so only those in the know what she's doing when she's vamping. Like,
Yeah, there you go.
It's not in the script.
There you, yeah. We'll figure something out
Yeah.
for sure. You know, have a little
Like,
laser
touch your
pointer or
nose right
something.
before you go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And we also did joke about the fact that she's going to have to be moving the microphone up and down thanks to Raymond.
For Raymond, yeah.
Right, yeah, there might be a little bit of a height difference.
Yeah, he is about 6'4".
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So yes.
I'm kind of used to that, my whole life.
That being said, I want to head to our closing now and just say, those of you who are listening, thank you so much for doing so. I want to encourage all of you to like, subscribe, share via SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, YouTube, social media, all of those things. We are now on all of the channels that are out there. Cannot thank you all enough for listening to this group. If you have any questions about our annual celebration, I'm going to throw Maggie under the bus and say she's probably your best contact to get in touch with. Get in touch with her at Maggie, Maggie, at rogerslowell.com. Thank you, Maggie, for allowing me to do that. So,
No problem, Nick.
Yeah.
And real quick, we do still have tickets. We do still have sponsorships. Please send me an email. Give me a call. I'm happy to take those any time of day or night. I'm going to get myself in trouble with that, but I'm going to do it anyway.
She will take your money.
Yeah, and you can buy a table or an individual ticket at rogerslowell.com as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
right.
And the event is Thursday, April 6th from 6 to 9 at the Rogers Convention Center. I don't know if you were going to say that, Nick, but I wanted to go ahead and plug it.
I was for sure going to have that in there.
Okay.
I was going to say, yeah, I figured someone else was going to say it, but that's all I've got this time outside of, again, I just want to thank Allison Wise for being here from 4029 News. Catch her on the evening news. What are the hours again specifically? Because I'm going to botch that if I try to just say it.
Yes, as I've been here for many years, I've been all over the place on 4029. But right now I'm 5, 6, 9 o'clock on the Arkansas CW, and then back at 10 o'clock on ABC.
All right.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Can't wait to see
Channel
you.
29 up here.
That's right. Can't wait to see you back at it, doing your thing. Steve, I'm going to pass it back to you to give us any final closing thoughts. You haven't done your vamping for sponsors yet.
I was about to the one thing I haven't done yet. You know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going. We still need a sponsor for this. So, as a producer, I'm still waiting on you to produce one, buddy. Just holding for it.
Ooh, the shade.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You can tell we have too much fun recording these. Well, again, I want to express our gratitude for Allison taking time out of your obviously very busy schedule to come in and record with us. Maggie, Ross, always a pleasure to have you guys on. Nick, so much fun. This is one of the highlights of my week, getting to come and record these things with you. So, again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here on today's Voice of Business podcast.
That's right. Thank you all again for joining us. We're going to sign off now. I think I have a cycling class I have to get to with Allison.
There we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. Get ready.
I'd love to see it.
Thank you, Ross. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
Steve. Have a wonderful week, y'all.